step at a time.
And when I cracked open the book for the first time and started reading it, I had to stop because I started to cry. And I was like, I just wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh yeah, good. And then as soon as I started, I was like, oh, whoa. And now I read it lots. I go to different daycares and day homes and things like that and read to the kids, and it's so fun. And now it's like I kind of know it like the back of my hand. But yeah, the first time cracking it open after I'd say 20 some odd years, definitely like the emotional rush of it hit me for sure.
Welcome to Finding Voices. Every once in a while, you meet someone whose story reminds you that resilience is not something people are simply born with. It is something they build one step at a time. Today's guest is Camille. As a little girl, Camille became the inspiration for a children's book called One Step at a Time. But this episode is not only about the book, it is about the woman behind the story. It is about childhood, family, identity, courage, and the long journey of growing into the person you are always meant to become. Today, we are going to look back at Camille's early years, the love that surrounded her, and the small steps that helped prepare her for adulthood. Because sometimes the transition does not begin after graduation. Sometimes it begins much earlier in the way a family believes in a child, includes that child and says, we'll figure it out together. The book tells the true story of Camille's earliest year, from the challenges she faced after birth and the surgeries that followed, and the determination that helped her grow stronger one step at a time. Through Camille's eyes, it celebrates resilience, hope, and the small victories that make extraordinary journeys possible. Written by her mother, the book was created not only to share their family story, but also to encourage and reassure other families facing similar challenges. But when the book was first published, Camille didn't see it that way.
When I was younger and the book first came out, it sounds weird, but I didn't think too much about it. I grew up in a very small town and was the only kid with a physical disability. So yeah, the book, I don't know, it didn't feel spectacular, I guess, to be written about, which is weird to say. But as I've gotten older and I'm able to reflect on it, it's so special. I was thinking about this and I don't think I remember the very first time. It would have been published right around the time I was about 6 years old. And so memories are a little foggy. I don't remember the exact first time, but I know for sure that there's one illustration in the book that immediately when I saw that was my favorite and continues to be my favorite.
Did you understand why your mom wanted to write it?
Definitely not at the time. Again, I was so young. My mom was always doing different things. So to me, it was kind of just another one of these things she was doing. And yeah, I think that when I actually I did call my mom this morning because I was like, I don't know why did you write the book? In my head, I'm like, oh, I get it. And advocacy and wanting to, bring awareness, things like that. But she just really said for her, it was about healing and not just about the things that we had been through in the first few years of my life. But just in general, my family had a very close family friend betray us in a business sense. And that was really tough for my parents. And yeah, so for my mom. It was just sort of a healing therapy sort of thing, just about a lot of things going on in our life at that time.
As Camille got older, the book became meaningful in a new way. It was no longer only memory from childhood. It became a bridge, a way to connect with families, children, and parents who were also learning how to move forward one step at a time. And when Camille opened the book again after many years, she did not expect how emotional that moment would be.
The first time I sort of brought the book back out again, I was connecting with some families online, children that have the same condition as me, which is called arthrogryposis. And through connecting with families, I have been sharing the book around and decided to make it more accessible. I would do a reading and post it on YouTube. And so that was kind of my first time revisiting the book in quite a few years. And I think I probably posted that like 4 or 5 years ago, kind of pandemic times, I think. And when I cracked open the book for the first time and started reading it, I had to stop because I started to cry. And I was like, I just wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh yeah, good. And then as soon as I started, I was like, oh, whoa. And I had to take a couple minutes and sit with it. And now I read it lots. I go to different daycares and day homes and things like that, and read to the kids, and it's so fun. And now it's like, I kind of know it like the back of my hand. But yeah, the first time cracking it open after I'd say 20 some odd years, definitely like the emotional rush of it hit me for sure.
Like many children, Camille had dreams about who she might become. Some of those dreams changed. Some became clear with time. But what stands out is that Camille was already learning something important: how to understand herself, how to recognize her strengths, and how to find a path that made sense for her.
So, like a lot of girls my age, for some reason we all wanted to be marine biologists. I don't know where that comes from, but I do love swimming. I got a little bit into some science stuff. A lot of those bring home science kits, do your own experiments. Loved all of that. And then when I was about 11 years old, I got really into audio and sound and music and the production of music, and that sort of took me on the trajectory to where I am now. So I had a pretty good idea pretty early on of what I wanted to do, and I found as a kid, because I was aware of my limitations and not in a negative way, but I knew I'm not going to be a construction worker. There's a lot of things I'm not going to be. And to some people that might sound defeatist, but for me, it was like a way to sort of narrow the lanes where I was like, well, there's all these things that aren't accessible to me. I'm not going to do. I'm also not interested in them. And that really helped pave the way to get to where I'm now.
One more powerful thing in Camille's story is the way she speaks about limitations. She does not speak about them with shame. She does not describe them as the end of possibility. Instead, she explains how understanding her limitations helped her find direction. For many families, this is an important lesson. Preparing a young person for adulthood, it is not about pretending every path will be easy. It is about helping them discover which path can be meaningful, realistic, and truly their own. Camille's story is a very good example of this. Her strength did not come from ignoring reality. It came from knowing herself, accepting herself, and moving forward with confidence.
There's just so many things that I wouldn't have done if I were to have been born into a family that had a little bit more hesitation around the situation.
That sentence is so important because sometimes the way adults respond to a child's disability can shape how that child sees the world and how that child sees themselves. If the world around the child is filled with hesitation, the child may learn hesitation. But if the world around the child is filled with belief, encouragement, and opportunity, the child can begin to believe too.
Oh my goodness. It's so fun when I read this book to kids because when I sit down and I start, I'll point at me on the cover, but I'll say, do you know who this little girl is? And it's so fun when they're, and that's you? And even like halfway through reading the story, one little kid goes, and all this stuff really happened to you? And I said, yeah, this is all me, all these pictures, everything. And yeah, when I look at it and I read it or I see pictures of myself, I just, would tell myself that like, you know who you are, and be so confident in that and just stick with it. And we're gonna get to live out like some of our wildest dreams.
Thank you, Camille, for sharing the beginning of your story with us. And thank you for sharing us that when child is surrounded by love, belief, and opportunity, that child can grow into a future full of meaning. In the next episode, we'll continue Camille's journey beyond the pages of the book. We'll talk about growing up, adulthood, independence, barriers, confidence, and the lessons she has learned along the way.
You know, the book is called One Step at a Time, and that just came out of a motto that my family would use constantly. Obviously very akin with learning how to walk, one step at a time. But then it just sort of transitioned into, you know, a regular saying that we would always have. And a lot of the times when I send the book out to kids around the world, I'll make sure that I have their name and know a little bit about them, and usually write them a message in the book. And generally that ends with, you know, no matter what you're coming up against, just remember to take one step at a time. And I think that, you know, that translates over so many different things. But yeah, I would say just take it one step at a time.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Join us for more conversations that matter.